I'm back in this bitch. I'm back in this bitch.
Since we're talking about gangster rappers, man, that's the part where I say I gotta get on Blackie's ass now. Have you watched his latest Nardo Wick video?
I started it. It was at the part where he had played the first part, and then I think I got like a minute into that shit and I stopped because I was
okay, but it's like a 2-minute video. Why did you just finish it?
I was doing something, bro. I was doing something. Or I was with somebody. I'll say that much. I was with somebody. So yeah.
All right. The only thing I'm gonna say is, bro, that's a rare arrow. That's a rare arrow for Blackie. I feel like he was reaching far as fuck in that video.
You're gonna have to explain.
All right. So do you know like the clip that even resurfaced of Nardo Wick?
It was the part where he said that he would rather rob niggas than get a job.
When he was younger, yeah, because they was asking him about his come up and shit when he was younger. And he said the reason why he didn't like get a job like when he was younger, he was like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, why would I work a job and make $500 every 2 weeks if I can just go rob a nigga and get like $7,000 in less than 20 minutes? Like, that's the type of shit I was on. And then the interview was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like, shit, if you better at robbing, just do that. But like the part where I disagree with Blackie on, he was like, why is Nardo Wick, what's the word I'm looking for? He was like, why are you promoting robbing over getting a job? Why do you think that's cool? And the shit that I disagree with was like, Nardo didn't say shit about it being cool. They asked him a fucking question about his youth, and he answered the question. He was like, I didn't get a job when I was younger because I just preferred to rob niggas. I can get way more money in a quicker time. And so the thing is, the interview itself happened like a month ago, but Nardo Wick, like he recently posted on his Instagram, was like, I'm not condoning robbing niggas. No, if you want to work a 9 to 5, that's cool.
Yeah,
I wasn't shutting down niggas that did that, whoopty whoop. But Blackie was like, I don't feel like that post was genuine because this interview happened a month ago and you're just saying that. You ain't saying that you was getting backlash for what you said in the interview.
Now, I was literally just about to say, if he'd have said during the interview that he doesn't want other people to do it, don't follow his footsteps, yeah. Not gonna lie to you. It definitely can come off like you just don't give a fuck if a month goes by and you're only addressing the shit because it's getting attention. Yeah.
My thing is, why is that something worth addressing though? Like, what reason would he have to say that beforehand?
Because of what I just referenced before, influence. There are niggas legitimately. If you know about the Hoodville channel on Instagram, they fuck with Nardo Wick heavy, and there's a lot of people that fuck with Hoodville heavy. I posted a couple of Hoodville, memes on my Instagram story where they talk about toxicity, and apparently Nardo Wick be talking about toxicity in his raps. Mm-hmm. So essentially, we push the narrative that I mean, it's something as simple as, oh, I'm a city boy, and niggas really live that lifestyle. They really do that shit. So if we gonna slip in, oh, I cheat on my bitch, I also rob niggas instead of getting a job. That's something easy as hell to integrate with a city boy lifestyle. It's easy as hell to integrate with that lifestyle. Seriously, it is. And the youth is silly enough. Let me remind you. Pop Smoke lost his life to a teenager. He lost his life to a fucking teenager for a fucking material possession that he wound up selling for less value than what he stole off of Pop Smoke. And that's a fucking shame. We lost a rapper because a teenager wanted some quick cash, which you spent the money. You didn't really get to, really enjoy the spoils of what the fuck you just bought because now you're rotting away in prison. So essentially we lost Pop Smoke for no fucking reason, just because you just had to have some easy cash. Now imagine we have a rapper that's on the rise that has a lot of young fans that like, his message and shit. We're listening to what he's saying, and we're listening to him say, oh, I'd rather rob niggas than get a 9 to 5. There's a lot of motherfuckers that can vibe with that because they don't fuck with a 9 to 5. There's a lot of niggas that definitely see the easier route in picking up a gun and taking from a nigga rather than earning it themselves. There's niggas out there that really will get down with that. So I
So
agree.
the part that you're saying is like the whole part of I'm not because he did say that like in the video. He was like, I'm not knocking people that work a 9 to 5, but just when I was younger, that just wasn't the shit I was on. I wasn't about to work. I ready to rob a nigga. So he was never talking down people that choose to work. Like that was never the point that he was saying. Like that's the way I'm looking at it. Like he just simply answered the question.
Yeah.
He was like, I was just robbing niggas instead of working. So that's why I disagree with Blackie's video. He was like, why are you promoting robbing people like that's cool? I'm like, he never promoted it. He never said he was cool. He was just answering the fucking question.
Yeah, he definitely was just answering the question. That's I agree with that 100%. Now, I mean, if he'd have been like, oh, all my niggas was doing it, my niggas still do it, then it's like, okay, you making it seem like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like any friends that you make now, you're going to tell them, hey, you know what I'm saying? It's better to drop. But he doesn't have to do that no more because he's a rap. I'm not going to say as soon as you blow up, you're rich because you gotta fucking make hits.
Yeah, the money you living off of is that label advance. Nigga, that ain't real money. They going to want you to recoup all exactly. That shit.
Yeah, nigga. They give you $500,000 to you know advertise. They're gonna want that $500,000 back plus a little bit extra, nigga, and you get to keep the fucking crumbs. That's why niggas be hating on these labels. But
speaking of not having to do shit though, so like I said, one of the things that Blackie was scrutinizing him for was like this whole Instagram post you made of like I'm not promoting this with the rule. I was just answering the question. Like he only said that because the clip from the interview, it just randomly started to resurface and get a shit ton of views. And people was on Nardo Wick ass like, damn, bro, why you saying this shit like, you know, rob instead of working is cool with the whoop. And then that's when he came out.
Oh yeah. I seen someone on Twitter saying it's the fact that he's saying this and he's like he has no reaction to it. Like he has no
remorse and shit.
Like, he's essentially saying it. And he's like, shit, he don't feel bad about it whatsoever. But the worst part, people were saying, was the fact that them niggas were laughing at the fact that he said that.
The interview,
they're like, oh, yeah.
It was like, that makes sense, yeah.
But it's like, you know,
I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. Does that not make sense though? He was like, why would I work a job and get $500 every 2 weeks if I could just go rob a nigga and get like $7,000 in a few minutes? Like, does that not make sense though?
I will play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate. If I gave you an AR-15 right now, and gave you a safe and told you about a safe house where no one could find you, would you do that?
Tell me about a safe house like where I can get away and I'm not get caught.
Oh yeah,
bro. Give me that AR. I'm playing.
At that point,
I'm not a street nigga. I don't have the heart to do that. So I'm good.
At that point, everyone from Detroit a street nigga.
I ain't got the. I'm gonna get guilt trip way too. Bro, if I rob a nigga, I'm gonna be guilt trip way too. Nigga, as soon as I go around the corner from that nigga, I'm gonna go back like, I'm sorry, bro. I don't even want this shit. I don't even want this shit, bro. Here you go.
At that point, you think about it like this: your degree means nothing, bro. You can make quadruple in a week what you would in a month. I can give you that AR-15. You can bring some shit back, bro. You know what I'm saying? I stole from a store before where it was like, okay, I could even wait for my mom to get back, or I could just go in this bitch and take what I want. And it was at a point where I was tired of waiting. That was a story time that I want to tell. But
I definitely get. Here's the thing, but I know that it's morally fucked up. I'm not saying that I would do this shit at all, or that I'm not condoning somebody else doing it. I'm just saying I understand the logic behind street niggas. Like when you a little kid and when you super attracted to money, like especially when you watching rap music videos and whatnot, and you see niggas having jewelry and all that kind of shit, it makes you want that lifestyle. So when you see there's an opportunity for you to get some money quick, flash in a hurry, you're gonna look at that and then look at other shit like school and like working. You're like, I'm not about to do that shit. I'm about to hit these streets. I'm not saying I would do it, but when it comes to robbing, when it comes to selling drugs, I completely understand why niggas do it because they want quick access to money.
That's very right. Now, here's the sad part about all this. The fact that it's so wrong that Nardo Wick took the only reason why I have a problem with him taking so long to say it, that impression can set in just that quick. The fact that he was so able to not, you know what I'm saying, have a reaction to it. There's a lot of kids that watch that, a lot of teenagers that watch that and said, man, what if they're currently in that situation? Oh, Nardo Wick did it and look at where he's at now. He didn't get caught. you know. So I could do this shit too. It could easily be refuted and be like, don't do the shit that I'm doing because I regretted it or some shit like that. No, it took him a month. It took the heat to be on him to finally, you know what I'm saying? It took a gun in his head to be like, yeah, nah, don't do that shit. I know.
But here's the thing though, is that not a given though? Like, why is not listen, I'm playing devil's advocate again. Why is that something that he needs to say? Is that not a given? Mind you, he was never promoting it. He never said, "Hey, all y'all little niggas out there that's like going to school, like working at McDonald's, but fuck that shit. But y'all need to start hitting the streets and rob niggas." He was never saying it was a cool thing to do. He was just explaining his story of his younger self. So, like, for him to say, "No, but don't be like me though. Y'all need to be in the streets robbing niggas. Y'all can work." Like, why does he? Need to say that?
That in that sense, that's common sense. Where it's like, no, I shouldn't do what he's doing. But again, common sense only work with motherfuckers that use that motherfucker on a common daily basis. like laws only stop on the good people from doing shit. It is an unfortunate case of you kind of have to, because you know the generation you're in is the niggas are gonna follow. Them niggas are gonna follow everything you do, even if you are just telling a story. Like, okay, this is a perfect fucking example from me in particular too.
Before you tell your story real quick, that's the last thing that I'm like. That's my overall viewpoint when it comes to that. Like, I'm not like that's like the first BlackySpeakz video that I dislike in like an extremely long time. I don't mean dislike as in like I pressed the dislike button, but that's like the first time where I just like damn near disagree with everything he said. I was watching that like, bro, you kind of reaching with this shit, like, because he was just saying shit like, I can't believe Nardo Wick think this shit cool. I'm like, bro, the dude never say it was cool, bro. He was just answering the question. Like, relax.
Even if you dislike the video, you wouldn't have saw because you know.
He would have saw the creator gonna see it. He would have saw it.
Yeah, for sure. But what I was gonna say was not even a story. I was gonna say it's an example, really. If you cheat on a girl and you don't get caught, if you cheat on a girl and you don't get caught, but you're telling your friends, not a lot of people are going to go on, you know what I'm saying, go in a group chat with their friends and be like, oh, but I don't condone cheating. They're not going to do that. They just tell it. They just telling, getting it off their chest and be like, I got away with it. Shit. But it's going to make, of course, the stigma can be, oh, them friends are going to be like, oh, I could get away with it too then. If this nigga got away with it, I could do the same shit. It is common courtesy to be like, nigga, don't cheat because, you know, loyalty is good and everything. At the same time, yeah, I get it. You don't have to say it because it should be common sense. And I am just telling a story. It is just an experience. So
I'm gonna have to be devilish Shamir for a second. And listen, bro, I gotta.
At this point, you're anarchy.
At this point, I am actually the devil's advocate. It's not an idiom. Like, I am actually the devil's advocate at this point. Listen, I'm gonna say, in my eyes, I don't feel like that's my problem. And I'm gonna put it like this: if I'm telling my life story or just something that I did while I was just talking about like some shit that happened to me in the past, whoop-de-whoop, and somebody made that conscious decision in their mind, that was like, shit, if Amir did it, he got away with it. Let me see if I can do this shit. And that person did it and they got in trouble for it. And then they was looking at me like, man, shit, you did it. You got away with it. So I thought I can do it. I'm going to be like, nigga, that's your fault. I didn't tell you to do that shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's not, like, that's not my problem. It's not your fault.
And they're going to look at me like, you should have came out and said like, oh, no, don't be like me, y'all. Don't do that. I'm like, I don't feel like I got to say that shit.
For sure. That is it's like, I know the exact fucking definition I want to use. My voice is raspy as shit right now. God damn, I sound like Doc Rivers. Hold on.
If I see your name on another top 10 list, I'm gonna kill somebody.
I'm gonna kill somebody. Paul George, you are trash. Lou Williams, you thought I forgot about you. You're trash.
Paul George, listen to me when I say this. You are trash.
You're trash.
I left you out there for 38 minutes. You wasn't doing shit.
That's my fault too. I left you out there. I ran the same defense.
Fuck this organization. I'm gone.
I'm gone. I know I'm gone.
I know I'm fine. I'm not about to disagree with the decision they about to make.
I left y'all niggas out there. And then the Ben Simmons one, that shit was funny as fuck too. But
you said you got the perfect definition to use for that.
I fucking forgot because of the damn RDC.
We were playing devil's advocate, and I had said I don't think that here's the thing. I don't think that's Nardo Wick's problem. Because like you said, some kids will look at everything he said and be like, shit, if Nardo Wick was out here doing that shit, I'm about to start. I don't feel like that's his fault if somebody look at that and think that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like when people blame music on how some kids act, like when people were saying that WAP would turn a bunch of females into hoes and shit like that.
And that's just one of many examples, like Future with his lean use and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. They were saying that WAP was going to turn a bunch of girls into hoes and stuff like that. And I said in my head, if your daughter turns out to be a hoe, that only Megan and Cardi can only have a guilty conscience because of the music they're putting out. But at the same time, they didn't turn you into a hoe. They didn't look at you and encourage you doing your shit. They made a fucking song.
Oh, we could just use Cardi with the drug and man example. I don't think Cardi B has ever came out and said all the strippers out there, or even non-strippers, like, don't be out here drugging men, taking money from them. I don't think she's ever said that. But that's the thing. She doesn't have to say that. That's common fucking sense. I don't think no girl out there heard her fucking story and was like, damn, if Cardi B was out here drugging and robbing niggas, man, fuck this Kroger job that I work at. Let me start drugging niggas and taking their money. Cardi look where Cardi B at. She the most popular female rapper in the world. If she did that, she got away with it. That's what I'm about to do. Like, if a girl hears Cardi B's story and she makes that decision, in my honest opinion, that's not Cardi B's fault.
Oh, it's not at all. I agree with that 100%. Yeah, that's right. But the fact that you did it and people are following your footsteps and your name even comes up can give you a guilty conscience. If someone stole in my name and someone stole and said, shit, it just reminded me of this, it's gonna give me a guilt. If it's just a story, then I understand. It shouldn't give a guilty conscience because it's like, okay, nigga, I was just giving my experience. You didn't have to follow my footsteps. That was your fault that you got caught. You know what I'm saying? Doing the shit I'm doing. Especially if you're telling a story and that person not even doing the shit that they told the story about no more. Like Nardo Wick used to rob. He's not robbing no more. Like, if you decide to start robbing too, at that point you're following the old Nardo Wick.
Right.
You're not even doing what he's doing. Or a stripper, drugging niggas. You're doing what the old Cardi B. Well, shit. You're probably doing what Cardi B is doing right now. But you know what I'm saying? It's like you're doing something that they not even talking about no more. They even did that shit. It's one fucking time when you're you know what I'm saying? That's your fault. Now, if it's something that, like, okay, if someone is always robbing and they're telling us, you know what I'm saying? They're telling about their experience and, oh yeah, I rob. And someone robs in your name, someone says, oh, I'm robbing because what's the name does such and such. Niggas can easily go, can have a guilty conscience because shit, that nigga wouldn't have robbed if it wasn't for, whoever the fuck they got the damn that
they heard the
idea
from
in the first
whatever,
place.
Yeah.
Right. So the guilt, you could definitely have a guilty conscience if it's an experience that you're still going through. But if if you have not been doing that shit and you were just telling a story, that's not your fault. You can't have a guilty conscience. That's just somebody following, just being a fucking follower. So yeah, I get that.